Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to the doctoral research workshop, which will focus on university administrative systems. It is imperative for students to have a basic understanding of the university research administrative systems which you have to comply with or alternatively to adhere to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that there are a large number of you who are doctoral students at other South African universities on this platform. Now, the systems at the other universities might differ slightly, but the main aims and objectives of each of the systems are more or less the same. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just before we start our first session, I would also like to take this opportunity of thanking Mrs. Lungile Ngobelanga, who is our Public Relations Officer, who is assisting us with the technology. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first session will focus on library resources and learning. And the facilitator is Mrs. Anita Somas. And basically, she's responsible for supporting students in the College of Law and Management Studies, more specifically the School of Management, IT and Governance, and then in the past year in the Graduate School of Business and Leadership at the university. Anita holds a master's degree in Information Sciences from UKZN. Now, over to you, Anita, and ladies and gentlemen, Anita will proceed with the presentation, and in the last 10 minutes or so, the floor will be open for questions, points of clarification, or even comments. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to our academics, students, and guests. I'm Anita Sommers, the subject librarian for the School of Management, overseeing the library services and resources for the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. I'm delighted to welcome you virtually to a brief orientation of our library resources. So I am here to introduce to you our resources and support services and to make the most of our library resources to make it easier for you throughout your academic journey. So I'm going to start off with a PowerPoint presentation, and then we'll move on to a live demonstration as well. Our libraries are located across both the city of Durban and Pietermaritzburg, and we have 5 main campuses, libraries, which is the Westville, Howard College, Edgewood, Medical, and Pietermaritzburg, each with branch libraries and special collections. So every registered UKZN student is automatically a library member and may use any of these facilities. Please remember to bring your student card to access a library and its resources both on-site and online. So again, these are the main campus libraries, which you are all welcome to use. The UKZN Library is a strategic partner in establishing the university as a premier institution of African scholarship with strong commitment to support teaching, learning, and research. So all students registered with UKZN are library members. Your student card serves as your library card, which you would need to access the library if you're coming in. The library also has a code of conduct that's applicable to all users. And if you want to have a look at it, it is available on our website. So you can go ahead and look at the code of conduct. Borrowing privileges. So these are the borrowing privileges. And for example, if you are a postgraduate student, you may borrow up to 20 books over a long period of 42 days. Again, all of this information is available on our library webpage. Opening hours. While our opening hours may vary during vacations, most libraries are open 24 hours during term times. So please always check our website for the most current updated hours. Our library webpage, this is what our library webpage looks like, and we're going to go into that shortly. But our library webpage provides access to all our resources, and you can visit it directly at the web address that's https://library.ukzn.ac.za, or via the university homepage, you can click on library at the top left. On our library webpage, coming back to that, we also have other options and additional features. So you'll find additional information by clicking on the drop-down arrow. For example, library accounts. If you click on the drop-down for library accounts, this will lead you to further information on interlibrary loans, My Library account, and OCLC World Share. So on the black taskbar, you'll find features and links to important sections such as About Us, Services, and Resources. Scrolling down to the bottom of the library webpage, you'll find additional information and useful links, including contact information, online resources, and our help section with frequently answered questions as well. So this is our iCatalog search box. Our iCatalog is a one-stop search tool to locate resources both within UKZN and from libraries worldwide. So this covers everything in our collections and all the subscriptions that we have. If a specific book or an article isn't available immediately, you can request it via interlibrary loans or pay-per-view. So for more details, you can please contact me or any of our subject librarians. And what's important to note for you postgrad students, if there's an article that you need for your research that we do not subscribe to or we don't have access to, contact the subject librarian and we can arrange this for you as well. So the iCatalog also includes print, ebooks, theses, journals, and more. And when searching on the iCatalog, you can start with a basic search or you can use an advanced search option on the iCatalog. And this is accessible from both on campus and off campus using your University Land login. So to start a search, you'll click on the iCatalog tab and enter your search term. My library account, it's very important for every staff and student to create a My Library account, and this will assist you to conduct your library request independently. For example, as I mentioned to you, if there's an article that you need access and we don't have it, you can access it using your library account. So this online tool, the My Library account, allows you to also check what books you've borrowed, their due dates, their outstanding fines, and you can renew your books without coming into the library. So setting up this account is essential to allow you to request articles and books that are not available at UKZN. We also offer photocopying, printing, and scanning services, as well as multimedia and training room. Additionally, each campus has a Research Commons, and Research Commons is a dedicated space exclusively for academics, masters, and doctoral students. So this facility provides a quiet environment and comfortable seating, and we have access to extensive electronic resources. where you can work on your research and relax in a comfortable lounge area. We also have in the Research Common a seminar room, which you could book with the librarians if you want to use or practice for a session. So the research space, as I mentioned to you, this is a page, what it looks like. The research space is our digital repository where we house all our university research output. So here you can view all UKZN master's and doctoral dissertations online. EndNote training and support. We also provide training and support for EndNote. EndNote is a reference manager that streamlines citations, formatting, and organizes your references in a personal library. So it's very much like having your own mini library where you would have all your references stored. And EndNote will allow you to insert citations into your documents, to create the reference page for you. And we have training sessions that on EndNote that's ongoing. In May as well, we have specialized training sessions for postgraduate students, and we're going to have a session for EndNote as well. So this will be advertised on our webpage. So please remember to take note of that. LibGuides, our subject librarians have created LibGuides, which are online support pages tailored to each subject area. These are user-friendly guides that include relevant information, links to library resources. And on the LibGuides as well, we have our online training. So we have dedicated a page where you can access all our training and our recorded sessions. So for example, if you want to access our Zoom sessions that we've had on databases or EndNote or Google Scholar, you can access us on the library training guide. And I will show you that when we're doing the demonstration. The library catalog and e-resources are available from our homepage, whether you're on campus or off campus. But if you are off campus, this is what the screen, this is what the page is going to look like. So off campus will require your LAN username and password. So you would have to enter in your LAN username and password, and that will authenticate you. But if you have any experience any issues with your login, please contact ICS and they'll be able to assist you with that. So when you are accessing our databases off campus, this is a screenshot of what your page will look like. And you would select the database or the iCatalog and enter your username and password to gain access. So these are our contact information. If you have any questions or need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or any member of our library staff. We are here to support you throughout your academic journey, both in person and virtually. So for subject-specific queries, you can contact me, and that's my contact details, or you can contact Dr. Bihari Lal. You can also use our generic email. So if you are unable to contact any one of us, you're welcome to send an email to the College of Law and Management generic email, which is clmslibrary@ukzn.ac.za. And one of our librarians will be happy to assist you. You can also engage in real-time chat with our library staff through Ask Us option on our homepage, and which is also available on our LibGuides and iCatalog. Okay, so this brings me to the end of my PowerPoint session, and I would like now just to move on to the library webpage so we can work through some examples. Okay, so this, again, this is our library page. And remember, I mentioned to you, you can use our web address, or you could use a university homepage and click on library, and it'll bring you to this page. So looking at our library web page quickly, about us, you're going to get all of the information where you get the code of conduct, the library hours, services. These are all the services we offer. So if you, for example, want to know borrowing information, you'll click on that. Resources is what's going to be important for you, because this is where you're going to need to access the databases. So if you are looking for articles for your research and you want to access our
Sorry, Anika,
databases,
your screen, is it still the same or?
I've changed it. I'm on the library web page. Can you?
No,
Is that
because
show?
it shows thank you here.
Oh, sorry. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, sorry. So this again, quickly, this is a library web page, and this is what it looks like. On the black taskbar, you'll find all of the information I mentioned about us, where you could get the code of conduct, the services, the borrowing information. Our resources is important. This is where you're going to access the databases. And we're going to work through examples, but I want to show you quickly. If you are working off campus and you need to access any of our databases, you're going to have to go to resources, use a drop down, and you're going to go to off campus access. So this is very important. If you're working from off campus, you need to use our off campus access. So if I click on off campus access, so this is a list of all our, this is the iCatalog I mentioned to you. This is where we're going to search for our books and for our articles, the library catalog. And if you want to access any of the databases, for example, you want to go to EBSCOhost, you're going to click EBSCOhost, and it'll ask you to put in your UKZN username and password, and you'll be able to get in. But we'll do an example shortly. Open scholarship, what's important is research space. I mentioned to you research space. This again is our institutional repository, and this is where you're going to access all our master's and doctoral dissertations. So if, for example, you are in the College of Law and Management, you click on the College of Law and Management, and you're in the Graduate School of Business, and you can search by author or title. If you are looking, for example, you're looking for a doctoral degree, you can search under doctoral degrees, and you can search by subject. But if you look here, this is showing you all the latest that we have uploaded. So for example, if you want to have a look at this thesis, you're going to click on it. It's give you the detail, the title, the abstract, and if you click on file, it's going to open up the entire dissertation for you. So it's still loading, but it will be, the entire dissertation will be available for you. And this is good if you want to look at other dissertations to get a sense of what it looks like, or you could use it as well for your research. So again, this is called Research Space. Coming back to the library page, LibGuides is the one I mentioned to you. So if you click on LibGuides, these are our LibGuides. So if you, for example, were looking for management, you click on management, and this is our management guide. And you can contact us. That's Claudette, who's at Howard College, and that's me. I'm based at Westville. And then we have somebody at Pietermaritzburg. So you can contact us. But we've also put on our LibGuides, we've put also important things that can assist you as well. So there's research support and there's information as well on our databases, our journals, and books. So this is the Management LibGuide. I mentioned to you our library training guide. So when you go to LibGuides, you click on All Guides. You scroll to the bottom, and we're going to move to UKZN Online Library Training 2025. If I click on that, this is going to give me all of the training sessions that we've already conducted and we've put online. So, for example, if you want to go on a training for one of the databases, for example, EBSCO-Host, I'll click on EBSCO-Host, and it tells you about the database, and these are the recorded sessions, so you can also listen to that in your time. What's important, and I want to show you EndNote. So if you want to start using EndNote and you want to have a look at the training session that we've had, you go under academic software, you click on EndNote. So these are all the guides. It shows you how to download EndNote as well. So you download it on your laptop, and this is the link. But if you also want to listen to the recorded training session, you click on this and you can listen to the entire training session in your own time. So this again is our training. My library account is important. So my library account is going to allow you to renew your books without coming into the library, and will also allow you to request for books and articles that are available, books that are available on another campus. So for example, if you are based in Westville and there's a book that's in Pietermaritzburg and you want it at Westville, you'll use your library account to request this, and you can pick up the book at Westville and return it at Westville. So this works with all the other campus libraries as well. Okay, so that was library, that's library training guides. My library account, I'm going to show you my library account, what it looks like. So if you go under library accounts and you click on my library account, it's going to open up my library account. For those of you who do not have a library account, you're going to have to click on, for the first time, you're going to click request password. So you'll put in it'll prompt you put in your username and you'll create a password. But I'm just going to sign into mine very quickly to show you what it looks like. And I'm also happy to share links to these after the training. So I can forward the links for you to watch the video on how to create your library account. So this is my library account. It's got my name. So if you look checkouts, these are the books I have on my name. So if I want to renew it without coming into the library, I just have to click on renew. Request is, I mentioned to you, if there's an article or book that we need that's not available at UKZN, we can request it for you. For example, this was an article that I requested, and once it's available, you can access it here. The link will be available and you can access it. So that's on your library account. And that's a contact us. Going down to the web page, there's our FAQs and our contact information as well. So I want to move quickly now to the iCatalog. Remember, the iCatalog is our one-stop search tool where you're going to search for everything, your books and your articles as well. So let's start by doing a basic search, and you would notice as I click on the different options, it changes. So for now, all I'm doing is searching on the iCatalog, and I'm going to do a broad search. So I'm just searching for something on leadership. So I type in and you click search. And we're going to start by just doing a basic book search. So this is looking through our catalog, and you can see it's picked up 480,000 results. That includes everything on leadership, which is books as well as articles. So if I was searching for just a book, I would, on the left-hand side, you see the filters here. I'm going to click UKZN. So it's just searching UKZN libraries. Then I'm going to go to format, and I'm going to click on the option book, because I am looking for a book. And this is a list. You can see the results has dropped down to 886,000 results worldwide. If I move it just to UKZN, it's 13,000. So UKZN library has 13,000 books, 13,400 results with leadership. So this is the details of the book, for example, the leadership experience, but it gives you a summary. But with this book, as you can see, it's on order. So we've placed an order for this book. It's not available. This book, for example, as you can see, it'll indicate all the details. It tells you the book is out on loan. You can click on the title. It's going to give you more details. It tells you it's checked out. And if you want to request the book, so even if the book is out on loan and you want to place a hold, you're going to use this on the right, the tab, that red tab that says request item. You're going to use this to request the item. So if I'm going to click request item, it's going to open up my library account. Again, this is why I indicated that it's important to set up your library account. So I clicked on request, it opened up my library account, and all of the information is here, so I don't need to put anything. All I'm going to have to indicate is, it says I want a copy, pick up options. So where do I want to pick up the book? So if I want to pick up the book at Howard College, I will indicate Howard College, and you can click submit. So as soon as the book has arrived at Howard College, you will get an email for you to pick up the book. Okay, so that is searching for a book. Let's do a specific search. So remember, we have a basic search and we have an advanced search. So I could search here as well without going back to the home page, and I can do an advanced search. And this time I'm looking for a specific book. So the book is called Leadership, a Short Introduction. And I know the author, so I'm going to type in the author. And you click on search. What's important is a drop down. Make sure you have an option. So if you use a drop down, I'm putting author, and I put the author's name, and I click search. So when you have put in additional information, you're looking for a specific book, the first result that come up should usually be the book that you're looking for. So this was the book I was looking for, and there's the book that's available, and it's available in Pietermaritzburg. Again, if I click on it, It gives me all the details. What's important is as you scroll down, if you are, for example, on campus and you want to go and find the book yourself on the shelf, this is a call number, so this is what you would need. You take down the call number, go to the shelf, you can take the book, and you can take it out on your name. Okay, so that was an advanced search. Let's go back, and I want to do another advanced search. So I've shown you how to find a book that's a print book. I've shown you how to find a specific book if you have more details. Now let's look for something that's not available at UKZN. So I'm going to put in another title, which is Guidelines to Assignment Writing. And I know the author is Jean. So I'm going to click on the search option. Just to show you what it looks like. So we're looking for a book. Again, remember on the left-hand side, these are the filters. I'm going to click on print book. Okay, so there's the book that I'm looking for. And if you can notice, it says at other libraries worldwide. This means that the book is not available at UKZN, and we can still try and get the book for you. So the university has arrangements with the other institutions. So if the book is available at another university, we could borrow the book for you. And again, you will have to click on the title, and on the right-hand side, you click on ILL, which is Interlibrary Loan Request, and we will request that book for you. So remember, whenever there's something that says not available or available at other libraries worldwide, it means UKZN does not have access to this. Okay, so next I want to move on to ebooks. So you know how to find a print book. If we're looking for an ebook, so again, let's go to advanced search, and I am searching for an ebook or organizing entrepreneurship, and the author is Grandori. Okay, so this is the ebook that I'm looking for, and I've put in the details, and the first result that has come up is the book. So in order to access it, you click on View ebook, and then you'll find these are the options. This means that this ebook is available on two different platforms. One is the EBSCOhost and the other is Progress. So both are the same things. So you can just select one of it. So let's do the first one, which is EBSCOhost. So I click on View ebook. Page was not available. Okay, so there's the ebook that's available, and it'll give you all the information. And if you want to access it and read online, you're just gonna go to whatever chapter you're looking for, or you can download and you can read online. So that's the ebook. When I move on, I'm just showing you this is the same book that's available on another platform. So I'm clicking on View ebook. This is where you would have to put in sometimes your LAN username and your password. So I'm clicking log in. And I'm doing this just to show you the look and feel is different. So this is the Progress ebook platform, which is the same book, but the layout and the feel is different. So this is what it'll look like. You can download it. And this is a publisher's permission, so they'll tell you how many pages you are allowed to download at a time, and you can download the chapter and you can read online. So that's how you'll get an ebook. Okay, so we've completed all the books. I want to show you next how we're going to search for an article. So let's search for back to the library, back to the iCatalog, and we're searching for something on, let's do leadership. Trades and of Africa. So remember, it's giving us everything on leadership traits and South Africa, which is books and articles. But if I just want an article, again, the filters on the left side, scroll down, you're going to select article. What's important is when you're searching for your articles, make sure you select the option that says full text, so you get the full article. And another important option is peer-reviewed. So peer-reviewed are articles of academic standard. You can click on peer-reviewed as well. So this also helps you to reduce your results. So we have 1,200 results on leadership traits in South Africa. And if, for example, I was looking for the most recent, I can say, I can put in custom the years, I can put in just the last 2 years, or if I want the last 5 years, I click on that. And you see how your results has dropped from 1,200 to 195. So this is how you will refine your search. And it'll give you the title, the author, it gives you a summary, and if you want it to view it, click View Full Text. And again, it gives you 2 options, sometimes 1, just select the first one, View Full Text. And it's taking me to ProQuest. Okay, so there's your article that is available for you. So this is a ProQuest database that we have access to. And there's your article, and you can listen, or you can also just read online. And you also have the option to download it and to print as well. Okay, so what's also I'm going to show you now, because we're going to run out of time, I'm going to show you how EndNote works. But if you are, for example, on your database and you come across an article that you want to use for your research, you want to put it in your EndNote library. So this is how, if this is the article you're using, you're going to go to Cite, and you have an option here that says EndNote, and you say Continue. So this would send the article to my EndNote library. So if I click on that, you can see this is my EndNote library. I'll show you. This is my EndNote library, and this is the article I've just exported to my EndNote. If I look under all references, this is all my references that I have in my EndNote library. So we'll come back to that just now. Let's go back and let's do one more search. So emotional intelligence in leadership. Remember when you are doing your search, remember not to put in your entire topic. So there are some steps that you need to consider when you doing your search, because often we find students inserting their complete topic, and they may end up with information overload, or you end up spending hours trying to search for information on their topic. So the first thing you would have to do is determine get your topic, and you start to explore and unpack your topic. So you break down your topic into concepts or a list of keywords. And the keywords are search terms that you enter into the database or the catalog. Remember that databases can only word match if it looks for the exact word and phrase you've typed in. So I've done just another search quickly to show you what it looks like. Again, we're going to select article. We're going to go down. We're going to select full text. We're going to select peer reviewed. And I am looking for maybe the last 10 years. And again, this is all the articles. So you can scroll down and see which one is of interest to you. And if you wanted to export this, so if you decide this is an article that I find interesting, I want to use it for my research, you can also export it to your EndNote right here as well. So let me show you again, you click on the Cite button, you click on Export to EndNote, and save. Opens up my EndNote, and it exported it to my EndNote library. Okay, so that was our iCatalog. I want to show you quickly, before we go into EndNote, coming back to the library homepage. If you wanted to go directly to our databases to do a search, and if you're from off-campus, you go Resources, Off-Campus Access. And if you want to use the iCatalog, which I just showed you, you'll use the iCatalog. But if you want to go directly to a database to look for articles, you can just select whichever database you're looking for. And some of them you can use is EBSCO, ProQuest, you have Google Scholar, we have Lancet. So there's a lot of databases that are available for management as well. So I want to show you one quickly. Let's go on EBSCOhost. So click on EBSCOhost, which is multidisciplinary database. And when you come to this page, you select EBSCOhost Web. And then this is your search box, and this is where you're going to put in your keywords. So I'm, again, leadership and styles of leadership. So when you are searching, these are called Boolean operators. So you can see it says and, or, and not. So these are the three known as Boolean operators. You can use them and, or, not. If you're using and, it's going to help to broaden your search. For example, you can say like PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. If you're using maybe the Boolean operator not will be when you want to exclude something. For example, you'll say, if you were doing a search on soldiers, you might want to say soldiers, not maybe. And the last one is or. Or is if you want to use synonyms as well. So for example, if I wanted to put artificial intelligence, and I'll say or AI. So those are Boolean operators. And now we are on EBSCOhost. I'm doing a search. As I go down, I can limit my results right here. So I want a full text, I want peer reviewed, and I'm looking for articles for the past 12 months. So we're looking for styles of leadership. So these are all the results it's picked up, 276 articles. And again, if you want to access it, you click on access and you can access the PDF. And the article should be downloaded. And you also have the option of sending it to your EndNote library. So there's your article and you can download it, or you can cite it. You can copy the citation, or you can export to, so I'm exporting to my EndNote. I'll say export to EndNote. Okay, so this is my EndNote library now. Just want to show you that quickly. That's my EndNote library. Very quickly, I'm sorry, I know we just have a few minutes, so I'm very quickly just going to show you how EndNote works. So EndNote is where you could store in all of your references that you're going to use for your research. So you see, I have 189 references. It also allows you to create groups. So if I know I'm working with chapter 1, I can just have my references in chapter 1, chapter 2, or you could create different topics. And you can change your style of referencing as well. So you can select whichever style of referencing you're using. So you go to Tools, Output Styles, and you select your style that you're using. And I just want to open up a Word document to show you how EndNote would work. So just assume that this is your research document. And once you have downloaded EndNote on your desktop or your laptop, you'll notice on your Word document, you have an EndNote tab. So if I click on the EndNote tab, these are my options. And this is where you'll get your style of referencing. So let's start writing. And then while you're writing, you want to cite. So you go to the point where you want to cite, and you switch to your EndNote, go to EndNote, you find the author. So I've got all references, I find the author that I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for this author, make sure it's highlighted, and I'm going to click on this that says Insert Citation. So watch what happens. I click on Insert, I select the author I want, the article, I click on this Insert Citation, and you see your in-text appears here. And then on your last page, even if your document was 50 pages, on your last page, you'll find your references right there. So again, let's find another one. So you go to the point where you want to cite. You're going to switch to your EndNote, find the author that you want, and you're going to say Insert Citation. So this is how it makes your work so much simpler. It does your in-text for you, and it does your references as well. And again, even if you come to the end of your research or your dissertation and you decide you need to change your style of referencing, all you're going to do is go here, click the style that you want. So if I wanted maybe APA, and I'll say update citations, and you see it has changed it to APA as well. So this is absolutely amazing. It makes your work so much easier. I encourage you, please, to attend our training session that we're going to be having in May, and I will send the details to the school as well. So I'm sure Lungile will share all the training sessions with you. But also remember, we have it available on our library training guide. So I'm going to stop now. I think this brings me to the end of my session. I'll be happy to answer any questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer that for you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anita. I think what we'll do is we'll just start off with the questions on the chat here, and then if there's others, they can raise their hand. The first question here is from Cameron Pittman. If we are not based at KZN but want to gain access to a physical textbook that is available at a UKZN library, what are our options? Can we pick up at locations in other parts of South Africa?
No, so unfortunately, for books at outside of the province, that might be a problem. But what we can do, if you are a postgrad student, you can request a letter from our administrator. So we have reciprocal arrangements with other universities. So you can get a letter that will allow you to use another institution. So for example, if you're based in Pretoria and you want to use the Pretoria University Library, we can issue you a letter that will allow you privileges at that library. So in terms of accessing their resources, you would be able to access their resources and borrow books. But sending a book across from, say, Durban to Pretoria from Westville, that is not possible, no.
Right. Lungile, are there any hands up in terms of questions? Or any more questions on the chat group?
We have one question on the Q&A from Doctoral, who's saying her account has expired. What is she required? And she's required to contact a librarian. Where does she go to get this sorted? And then we have two hands. I think we can take that after you've answered this one.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm not sure which account has expired. If it is your library, my library account, then you can just request a new password. So even if you forget your password, you can request a new password and we'll send you a link. But if you don't have access, I think your account is expired. You may have to contact ICS. But I'm happy for you to send me an email, and I would try and assist you. And I'm just going to put, while I'm chatting, I'm just going to put my email address on the screen. But I'm happy to assist you with your issue that you're having if it says your account is expired.
Right.
So
thank
please
you.
just send me an email and I'll try and assist you.
Yeah, Lungile, you did indicate there's two hands up, and if those two participants can just be brief as well. Thank you.
We have a question from the hand from Minenhle Mapumulo. I'll allow you to speak, Minenhle. You can just unmute yourself and ask your question. Minenhle. Okay,
Yeah.
can we move? Minenhle is not responding. Austin Mwange, can you just unmute yourself and ask your question?
Oh, thank you so much. Mine is a brief one. Thank you for this training. I just wanted to find out if Emerald is now accessible. Last time I tried offline, I was not able to access Emerald. Is it now accessible?
Hi, Austin. Yes, our Emerald access to Emerald was cancelled due to budget constraints. And we have requested for it. I just want to see quickly while you're here whether they have reinstalled it. So I just want to go to it quickly. No, not as yet. So
Hi,
unfortunately, due
Anita.
to
May I come in?
budget. Yes, yes. Hi, Scanner.
Yes, with Emerald, up to date, Covidence, we have already secured the subscription, but with Emerald and up to date, we're still negotiating. And then once we have resolved that, and then I will put it here on the library website. And then before the end of May, it will be on the website. Thanks.
Right. Any more hands, Lungile?
Minenhle, I don't know if you still have your hand up, so I'm not sure if you have a question or not, but I've allowed you to, so you can just unmute and ask your question. If not, we can move. We have one question on the Q&A asking how do we download EndNote?
Okay, so to download EndNote, you're going to have to go to software rep. So if you go again to our LibGuides, I'm indicated this is our LibGuide page. You go to all guides, scroll to the bottom, you're going to go to UKZN online training, academic software, we're going to select EndNote. So this is how and you're going to download it. You have to click on this link, academics, and it'll prompt you, click on academic of this link, you go academic software, and then you choose EndNote 21. And it will allow you to download it. Or if you are on campus, you're welcome to go to ICS or come across to the library and we'll help you with the download. But it's very simple. If you just click on this link, it'll prompt you to do the download.
I see we have a hand, Sibonello Zikali.
Sibonello, I've allowed you to talk. You can unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much. Greetings to you all. I came late. Maybe what I'm going to ask has been covered, but I want to check. I came at a moment where the presenter was like showing us how to use the end notes, but now I'm interested to check because I saw that she was just adding authors to the paragraph that she written. But now my interest is the relation of the authors that were shown to the paragraph, whether the endnote assists us to pick relevant authors to the paragraph that you have written, or maybe you have just inserted all the authors prior writing of your paragraph. I don't know whether I make sense, but I'm checking because I saw that there were a lot of authors that were written per paragraph. So I don't know whether if you write a statement, it assists you it redirects you to the relevant author who have written the paragraphs, or maybe I don't know. I want to understand that part.
Okay, thank you, Subhanallah, for your question. The EndNote it's more like a mini library with all of your references. So your first step would be to have all of your references for your research. So if you come across a book or an article that you're using, you insert that, you have that in your EndNote library. So like you can see on my page, these are all the references I have put into my EndNote library. So when you are typing, when you are writing, as you write, you're going to have to go to the author or the reference that you have used to insert that into your Word document. So you would go and select. So if I'm, for example, I'm writing my dissertation, and I come to a point where I know I've taken this from this author Apu. I would go to my EndNote library. I will select Apu, and when I'm on my Word document, as I'm typing, I would have to go to my EndNote, select Apu, and you say insert citation. So what it does, it's going to do the in-text for you, and it will also put it on your reference. And you can do this as you're typing, as you go along, you're typing, you keep working with your EndNote, you select any reference that you use and it'll insert. So it does your in-text as well as your reference page for you, and in alphabetical order as well. So
Okay.
again, remember we are having training sessions in May, so please attend the session on EndNote, or you can access the training session also on our library training guide. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. I'm willing to attend the training.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we've come to the end of this session now. And I think if you've got any further questions, you can also email Anita. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Sishelo Shlongwani, who assisted Anita. Now, Cicelo is an electronics resources librarian at UKZN Library Services and is responsible for the maintenance and management of electronic resources, including databases, e-journals, and e-books. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity of thanking Anita for an excellent presentation. And as indicated, the library is indeed a great resource. And we are now moving to digital resource access, and we need to acclimatize ourselves to it. Once again, Anita, thank you very much. It is deeply appreciated. Right, moving on to the next or our second session, we will focus on the Turnitin system, which generates similarity index reports, which is used to circumvent plagiarism. Our facilitator for this session is Mr. Vasu Chetty, who is a senior educational IT consultant. He works in academic computing, where they primarily support academics and postgraduate students in teaching, learning, and research. And once again, Vasu, you have an hour. The last 10 minutes will be dedicated to questions, comments, or points of clarification.
Morning, colleagues. Thanks, Prof. Morning, students. I think it's still morning. Unfortunately, I've got a hard stop at 12 o'clock. I definitely can't go beyond that as I have another lecture to attend. And I see there were lots of questions related to IT in the chat. So what I thought I'll do is, because the Turnitin session that I'm going to talk about is fairly short. So I thought what I'll do is I'll put up, we have a postgraduate, let me put it up and it may make a lot more sense. Give me a second. I'll share my screen and then we can get started with this. 1 second.
I think, Vasu, if you can also show your face for a minute or so.
Okay, I don't want to scare the students this early in the morning.
I'd like to put a name to the face. Thanks.
Okay. All right, students. There we go. See, they're already scared. Okay, let's get started. I want to share my screen quickly. Okay, so I'll just talk about a few of these platforms. I also want to explain that ICS is broken up into quite a few sections. and I may not be able to answer all of your questions related to logging in and passwords, because I primarily focus on Turnitin and Moodle and that type of thing. And because of how we've integrated Turnitin into Moodle, that session will be fairly quick. So I thought I'll just go through some of these platforms to help some students, because I think we have two types of students. Some students who have been at UKZN before, and as a postgraduate student, you could have been at another institution and now you're joining UKZN for the first time. So I think that may be a little helpful to you guys. I can take questions while I'm speaking if that's fine, but probably you'll just have to stop me and I'll go ahead. Okay, so when you register at UKZN, your student number is your login details for everything. So it's student number at ukzn.ac.za. So when you log in for the first time, we give you a default LAN login. So it'll be your student number and your password for your login will be your student number at date, month, and year. So that's the very first time when you log into any of our systems, right? That's your starting point. So your default credentials would be your username is your student number at stu.ukzn.ac.za, and your password for the very first time will be stu at date, month, and year, which will be the 4 digits for your year, as you can see on the screen. If you're having a problem with that, you can navigate to https://password.ukzn.ac.za, and you can reset your password there. You'll have to reset your password for the first time after using your date of birth. Okay, so that's your starting point. That's how you get onto any of our systems. So I'll share this presentation with you so you'll have all of these details. So you don't have to worry about writing anything down. All right, so your password has to be 8 characters, capital letters, etc., etc. There's a bad example of a password there, P at SS Word 2025. Please don't use passwords like that. They're very easy to guess and to hack into. Okay, so this is just once you register. Let's move on. If you're having any issues on campus, off campus, this email address that you should use is itstudenthelp@ukzn.ac.za. Now, I can tell you that this inbox gets quite a number of emails per day. Sometimes it could go up to 10,000 emails a day. So if you're sending questions that are not related to IT, it may be a registration question or you can't see some of your modules, it's all going to get queued and the IT questions take a long time before they can respond to you. So please be very cognizant when you're sending an email to this email address. All right. Office hours, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock to 6 to 4:30. Also, another important thing, on this campus, at this institution, we have something called single sign-on, which means you use the same username and password for every system on campus. So whether it's your email, you're accessing the internet, you're downloading software, you're accessing Turnitin, everything is one username, one password. So it's important to get that right up front. So you know what your username is, your password thing needs to be correct. The only other system that you will not use with the same credentials is called Student Central. Now, Student Central, you will use it to check your marks, your fee statements. That is something completely different. So to access that, you won't need that now, right? During the course of the year, you'll get access to that. So remember, your single sign-on is for every system except for the Student Central system. All right. Also important not to share your credentials with anyone at the institution. So I'm going to talk about the learning management system because it's integrated into Moodle for the postgraduate level. At undergraduate level, we haven't integrated it as yet. But for you guys, that's why it's quite simple, and I'll show it to you just now. So when you want to access our learning management system, and every year the name changes. So this year it's Learn 2025, next year it'll be Learn 2026, last year was Learn 2025. So if you want to access previous year's content, well, not necessarily for you guys, because you're at a postgraduate level, but maybe some of you that were in undergrad and want to access your Learn 2024, it's still available to you. All right. So that's the website that you need to, or the web address that you need to access. Big tip here, when browsing on the internet, try to use Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. You have minimal problems when using that browser. I use Chrome for everything, whether it's internet banking or searching, database use, whatever it is, I use Chrome, and it's always updated. I think that's the important thing to remember. It's updated all the time, so it's very secure, it's very safe. Okay, so that's the site. I'll log on to my learning management system and show you some of that. So your LAN credentials, how you log into your username and password. I'm going to skip some of these things, right? Because so this is the Learn website, right? Where all your course content will be. Some lecturers, well, most lecturers are supposed to use it, but I think at a postgraduate level, all your content will be on the learning management system. So you would have, if you're doing 4 modules, you'll have all 4 courses will be available to you, and your lecturers will put out the course outline, the assignments, test dates, etc., etc. Each lecturer works differently with their modules. So if you don't see a module, for example, don't panic. It means your lecturer hasn't made that module available to you as yet. Everything is fine. Your registration's good. Don't worry about any of that. All right. So just a sort of a screenshot of what your homepage looks like, how you access the modules, the learning materials. Also, what we've allowed you to do is download from the App Store. So either the App Store or the Google Play Store, you can download this learning management tool for you, which is the Moodle app. The cool thing about the Moodle app is once you download the Moodle app, all of the content that you have, you can view it offline, which means you don't have to use data to access the app. So if you're on campus, you can download the app, all the content will be available to you. And when you're using it at home or you're off campus, you won't pay for data as the content is already on the app. So that's quite an important tool for you guys to install, right? I think there is a help file on how to do all of these things. I will send it to the prof and he can distribute it to you guys. So Turnitin, this is what I'm going to talk about predominantly. So we've really simplified the process. So now you don't have to create an account. Accounts you will be submitting through Moodle itself. As a postgraduate student, you don't have to create an account. So previously students or undergrad students create accounts. You don't have to do that anymore. The purpose of the software, it is text matching software. It is not plagiarism detection software. So it's comparing the text that you have on your paper to everyone in your class and all the papers on the internet. So the software is pretty sophisticated. If you used it before, you would know that it does find text matching. It doesn't find plagiarism. So you need to be very careful when using this particular app. Okay, so you can see it compares it with everyone in your class, archive of internet documents, internet data, student repositories. And I think Anita spoke to you about journals and publications. The software is pretty intelligent. It can interrogate Emerald, EBSCOhost, Sabinet, Pubinet, all of those databases. It checks to see if you've copied anything out of there and you haven't referenced it correctly. All right, so that's what the software does. So I'm going to go through I'm going to skip a lot of this because you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to create a student profile, a class ID, and a password because it'll be via Moodle that you're doing it. Okay, so even this, you don't have to go through this anymore. So this is all unnecessary for you guys. So this is what a Turnitin, when you log in, this is what it looks like. As a student, you can see it has all my classes in here. Well, these classes I have because I've registered for these classes. When you're registering for the first time, you won't have any of these classes. You'll click on enroll in a class. You see on the top left-hand corner in my screen, it's highlighted enroll in a class. So your lecturer will give you an ID and a password to log in. But like I said, you won't have to do any of this now. This was done in the old system. With Moodle, you would be in your module and you will see it. Right? So this is all the old stuff. You don't really need to know any of this as well. So that's not important for you guys, how you create an account. Maybe let's just talk a little bit about the reports itself. So as you can see, right at the top is your document frame viewer where it gives you your percentage. That percentage is your similarity detection. It's not plagiarism detection. I know a lot of lecturers say that they want that percent to be below 10%. That's really difficult to do, especially if you've used a lot of content on the internet. But you can speak to your supervisor or your lecturer about it because that score is your similarity. It's saying it's found 70% of this paper is found on the internet. Your lecturer may say, you know what, that's unacceptable. I understand that you are using the content and you reference properly, but that is way too much of information. You still need more of your ideas and your theories behind it, substantiating it with what you found on the internet. So that's what that percentage is about. And it's really difficult to bring it down to below 10%, but speak to your lecturer about it. Paper text, so you can see that's where your assignment is submitted, and it highlights everything on that assignment to say where it's matching. So on this particular example, if I click on, see it says discovered by Lancel, if I click on that particular text, it will show me exactly where the source has come from. So it'll find all the sources on the internet, and it'll show your lecturer where you've got that from. All right, so it's pretty sophisticated that way. Your matching sources bar, well, that just gives you all of the percentages, a breakdown of where it's found all of the content that you've used on the internet or from the internet. So this is just a few things. It's not really for you guys, but you can see the match overview. It's telling you it's 4% and where it's got all its contents from. 2% from the university, 1% from, it looks, I won't really be quoting anything from M Wheels 24. That's more like a blog post. So you can just see it gives you all the information, where all your sources are from, and also what sort of filters and settings were used, right? So your lecturer would have set all of this up. You shouldn't be changing any of these. Okay, so when your lecturer wants your assignment, so what they ask you to do is that you'll submit the assignment to them, and they'll ask you to submit the digital receipt. You'll download the digital receipt, and you can attach it to your assignment and send it to your lecturer. They want to see what the percentage is. All right. But in the Moodle platform, you don't really need to work like this, but some lecturers still work this way. So it just tells you when you're looking at the text, when you submitted your assignment, if it's blue, there's no matching words. Green means it's 24%, yellow, it's 25%, and you can so on and so on. So if the text is highlighted in red, that it means 75 to 100% is similar to stuff on the internet. All right. Let's Grammarly. So I'll talk very quickly about Grammarly. So Grammarly is a digital writing tool. It helps you when you're writing your reports. It corrects your grammar, corrects your spelling. If you need an account, there's an email address at the end of this that you guys can use, and an account will be created for you. We have the premium subscription, so you can integrate it with your Outlook and your Word. So every time you writing a report, writing an email, Grammarly can help you to correct it and make it sound better and look a lot better. All right. So Grammarly, if you want it, you can send an email to learn@UKZN, put Grammarly in the thing. But we've done, so in the recent, I think the last 2 weeks, what we've done is we've integrated Grammarly with single sign-on. So when you sign on, you won't have to send an email. Automatically, you'll have Grammarly assigned to your account. If you're having difficulties, I think you know that if you're on campus, I know majority of you aren't. If you're on campus, we have 4 walk-in centers for students. You can come in and they can activate it for you. And there's a number that you can call where they can also help you via telephone. So this shows you how Grammarly works. So important email addresses, Turnitin. So if you have a Turnitin query, you send an email from turnitin@ukzn.ac to ukzn@ac.za. You have to work with your student email address, but because you're on Moodle, you'll have to use your UKZN email address. So students, if you have a query on Turnitin, send your query from your student inbox to that address. We don't respond to emails from non-UKZN accounts. Your Yahoo, your Gmail. If you're a working person, I know it's difficult to have manage 2 mailboxes, but we won't respond to your emails if you're responding from your work email address. All right, so it's important that we keep all our communication with your student email addresses. So Grammarly, like I said, you don't have to really email Grammarly anymore or learn. It's sort of, we've got single sign-on attached to it now. I think you were asking about downloading software at the institution. We have a lot of software. EndNote, SPSS, NVivo, SAS. We've got tons of software. To download the software, that's the address you'd go to, https://softwarerep.ukzn.ac.za. If you're on campus, it's easy to do this. If you're off campus, you need to install something called Global Protect. Now that's a long lecture all on its own. I will send the help file for Global Protect. It has screenshots on it. You can use it, and you can use Global Protect to have the software downloaded. So what Global Protect does is it tricks your machine into thinking that you're on campus. So you get access to all the facilities on campus. So you could be at work. Well, I don't know if your work firewall will allow Global Protect. Let's say you have your personal machine at home. From home, you have Global Protect. You can click on it, and then you can access all of the software, and you can download all of them. There's instructions. So for majority of the software, the educational software that I manage, there are instruction files on how to download and install it. All right. If you're off campus, the number to call is 260-4000, and there's the working times there. Okay, so I think we're done with that. I just want to see if there are any questions. Let me stop my share. Let's see any pertinent questions that I need to get to. Global Protect refuse on work devices. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for your okay. How do we move information from Learn 2024? So I can't get into that sort of conversation now, but if you send an email to learn@UKZN, they'll send you information on that, right? How you move your content. Or you can just access Learn 2024. You can download the content. But why would you want to move your content from 2024 to 2025? Okay, okay. Let's see. How do I resolve a Turnitin query where it picks up a table headings, leadership? Okay. So the question is, how does one resolve a Turnitin query where it picks up table heading? So your lecturer needs to set it up to make sure that those type of things aren't picked up. So there's a setting that the lecturer will have to change to make sure that it doesn't pick up these things. However, if it does pick up a heading, for example, and your lecturer is marking it, they can see it's a heading. You're not going to be penalized for that. They can remove it. They will delete that highlight that's showing that that's the problem. Okay. All right. Good, good, good. Let's see if I missed anything. Okay. Thank you. Why is Moodle so important to keep logged on? It's not important for you to be logged on all the time, but that's your communication tool between academics and students. So that's where they post all the questions, assignments, test dates. It's a good tool for you to keep checking regularly. I don't think you have to be logged on all the time. Okay. How can I download Turnitin? There is no download. You don't need to download Turnitin anymore. I cannot see the questions asked by participants in the chats. Okay. So I think we've done most of it. I just want to go very quickly onto my machine and show you some things. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Give me a second. I want to share. Okay, let's share this. Okay, so very quickly, I've logged on to Moodle, right? So this is a Moodle set. This is our Learn 2025. Let me move things around the screen so you can see. So you can see on the top here, it says Learn 2025. On the top right-hand corner, I put my username, I put in my password, I get access to it. I clicked on this particular course because this course was hidden and no one's using it. So I clicked on this course. Obviously, I got access to it. You'll only have access to your courses that you are doing. So if you're doing a research module, if you're doing economics, if you're doing finance, and if you're doing IT, you'll see those modules, right? Only the modules that your lecturer has made available to you, you'll be able to see them. That's important to remember. So I just want to show you very quickly how Turnitin works on Moodle. So it's really simple for you guys. The lecturer really needs training on it, not so much you guys, right? So the lecturer needs to put up this thing here. So let me show you, right? So a lecturer will go in and they want to add. So this is not for you guys, right? This is for a lecturer. And just to give you an idea of how it works, so you can understand it a little better. So let's just call this research 2, because I put another one up. So your lecturer will then say, what submission type do you want? File uploads. That means they're allowing you to upload a file. How many parts? You can upload 1 or 2 documents only. Maximum file size. Allow any file submission? Yes. Display reports. So this is an important one, right? Display similarity reports to students. So when you submit an assignment, it gives you a similarity score. You know the score I showed you earlier, the 89%? Now, your lecturer can decide if they want to show you the score or not. So if you don't see the score, chances are your lecturer said no to this. If your lecturer wants you to see it, they'll say yes. So you must always check with your lecturer first before you send an email to Turnitin at ukzn.ac.za, because your lecturers play a big part in Turnitin. Okay, so they're going to see it, how they want it to be displayed. They want it to be displayed as a percentage. And then as they're marking it, they want it to automatically be updated. Okay, there's a start and end date for your assignment, as you can see. What are the options? So this is quite important, right? Allowing submissions after the due date, lecturer says no. Generate reports. So here is the other option. So lecturers can allow you to resubmit your submissions until the due date. So effectively what Turnitin is supposed to do, it's not a punitive tool. It's there to help you. So when you make a submission, you have a look at your score. Okay, my score is 45%. That's really high. Let me see what changes I can make. So it's teaching you how to use it a little better. It's not there to reprimand you and say, oh, your primary focus should not be, I need to bring that score down. The idea is to learn how to use the software and see if you've referenced correctly and if you are using it correctly. That's the point behind it. So you make your first submission, you check, okay, I can see where some of the problems are. You can discuss it with your lecturer and you can start making changes to it. And then you submit it again and then see what your score is. Okay, my score is a little lower. I think I've worked it out. It's not so bad now. I've used too much of sources from the internet. Let me take out some of these things. They're not relevant. And you can amend it. So you can do that at least 3 times. After the third time, you have to wait 24 hours before it can generate a score for you. Right? Important to remember. Please do not send emails to Turnitin. We get thousands of emails on that inbox. And if it's useless information that we're going to reply to you, we don't reply because there's other pressing things that need to be done on Turnitin. Right, so your lecturer will choose that. This is very important. Is your lecturer going to store this paper in the repository? Yes or no? So if your lecturer chooses to store it in the repository, that means this paper that you've submitted is now in a database. So let's say you were an honors student last year and you've submitted your honors thesis and you want to use the same honors paper this year or some of that paper this year and submit it. Remember that honors paper is stored in the Turnitin database. When you submit it this year, it's going to compare it to itself, even though it's your paper. The software doesn't know it's your paper. It's just comparing similarity. It picks up that honors paper that you've done and the similarity is really high. Now the complications start. When you start removing papers from the database, it takes a long time to do. It doesn't work so well. So there are lots of complications around it. So the lecturer needs to know, am I putting this in the repository or no repository? But that's for lecturer training, right? So generally lecturers will choose a standard repository because you want the paper to be in the repository so you can compare to everyone else in the class. All right, all of this should be yes. Check against other students, check on the internet, journals and publications, or bibliographies. Different lecturers have a theory on that. They can choose to exclude the bibliography to check, that's what it means, or not. Quoted materials, exclude quoted materials. So if a student puts something within quotes, the software can ignore it if the lecturer says yes to this. If they say no to it, everything within quotes, the lecturer will have to check it. All right, small matches. So this is quite important. Lecturers generally use maybe 10 words. So what that means is if you have 10 words that you are taking that is exactly the same 10 words that's on the internet, it won't flag that as a match and it won't be added to the score. So what do I mean? So let's say I'm quoting from something that I've seen on the internet in the study done by the Department of Education for Humanities. Already that's 10 words. And that's a very common phrase that would be used in a thesis. So if your lecturer chooses these small matches, that won't be picked up by Turnitin. It'll ignore those 10 words. But everything after 10 words, 11, 12 and above, it will then flag it and say, hey, it's very similar to something on the internet. Okay, important to understand that. Okay, so words, marking options. Then your lecturer says save and return to display, return to course. Excellent. We go back to the course. Hopefully we can go back today. Okay. Let it do what it needs to do. I want to go to the course quickly. I think my machine is just slow. Oh yeah. Okay, there we. Oh no, I didn't want to go there. Let me just go back to this quickly. There we go. I want to go to second. So, the last thing I want to show you around this is I'm going to change my profile as a student and show you how easy it is for you to submit something to the internet. Sorry, to this course. Okay, so I have to change. You can't do this. I can do this. I can change my role to a student. Okay, so now I'm a student just like you, and I want to submit to this module. So that's the class that I'm in. I click on it, research assignment. But too many things open on the screen. And I want to submit my paper. The paper that I've been working on, very simple. You see it says submit paper, click on it. Is it showing you? I don't know. I've shared just one screen. I don't know if it's showing you this other screen. So it's just showing.
It's
Prof, can
showing
you
the
see?
other screen. It's showing the other screens, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see, I need to give my paper a title. Give it a title. I can drag the file here, or I can click on upload and upload the file. I can add the file. Click on add submission. Your submission is done. That's easy for you guys because as for postgrads, we've made it really simple, right? But for undergrads, where you log on, where you create an account on the internet, it doesn't work like this. So your lecturer will contact the IT department and say, listen, I want to set up my Turnitin in Moodle, and then we help them with that. Okay. I'm not going to submit anything here. So I just want to close this. I want to stop the share. Let me just show you one other thing. So you've seen the Moodle site, right? So let's just go to a Moodle site. So this is a general Moodle page. It all looks the same. I've just obviously used this one here. I'll delete all the contents before I leave. So all the Moodle courses look almost identical. Prof, do you have a course that I can go to and show students, maybe with some content on it? If you don't have it, it's fine. Or if any of the other lecturers have a module code that I
No,
can.
I don't have it. I'm not lecturing at the moment, you see.
Oh, okay. So, but this is what it'll look like, guys. It'll be, so in here, I don't want to show you other lecturers' courses. It's not right. So in here, there'll be notes, there'll be PDF files, there'll be videos, there'll be documents, your assignment dates. They can also send you notices from here. They'll send you, for example, an announcement. So let's say your test is in 3 days. They can send an announcement to say, hi, students, Economics 101, the test is scheduled for 5 o'clock. It'll be online, etc., etc. They'll send a notice from here. And from here, it'll send that notice. It'll email you as a student to your UKZN student inbox. That is why I'm saying your student email address is very important to you guys. Okay. Let me see if there are any questions. 1 second.
There is quite a few coming in also on the Q&A box.
Yes. I'll check it. I'll check it.
Yeah.
Let me go through this first, right?
Okay.
Let's see where I last stopped. I cannot. Okay, there we go. Is it encouraged for postgraduate students to constantly on the go subject their theses, documents on Turnitin? Turnitin does not use the previous information. So like I was explaining, it's not that you should constantly be putting your theses up onto Turnitin. The idea behind it is you've written your thesis as best to your ability, and maybe you don't understand how plagiarism works that well, you don't understand this thing. So you just want to put it in and check, okay, have I done a good job? Is it working? The idea should not be that I need a low score. If you keep thinking along those lines, then you're defeating the purpose of writing a good paper. So write a good paper. What you think is a good paper, you've sort of made your argument, you've you've given proof to your argument, and that type of thing. You're rounding it up. Because at your level now, you can't be, concerned about, am I plagiarizing, or my index mark is too high. The idea is to understand the content that you're putting through. So it's not about whether we're encouraging you to use Turnitin all the time. 3 times is sufficient. You've got, after 3 times, it's telling you you have to wait 24 hours. So I don't know if it encourages the right word, but I'm saying you're putting it in, you're getting a score, and see if there needs to be any amendments. You and your lecturer need to work on that together. Okay. Thanks for the excellent presentation. Training
Can I come in there, Vasu?
Yes, Prof. Sorry.
Yeah, that's quite an important point. You see, if we're looking at the ideal situation, right, a student submits the first draft with all the chapters. After reading through it, we put it through Turnitin, give it back to the student. The student might come with a second draft. We read through it, put it to Turnitin, and then give it back to him. And then the third time round with the draft might be the final time. You get on the final submission, or else it might be a fourth submission. But you're quite right, it's about 3 times at an average. That is, if you're submitting the work in totality, in other words, all the chapters. Thanks.
Thanks, Prof. I think that's excellently explained. But remember, different faculties handle it differently. So you're hearing it from the prof now. That's exactly how it should be done. It's not a punitive tool. So remember that. Mohammed wants to know, when does training happen? You contact my office. We'll arrange training for you. I'm assuming you're an academic. We'll set up training with academics whenever they need it. We could have training almost every day. So it just depends on the academics. When they contact us, we set up training for them. Turnitin rejects my student email. The result saying someone is using my email that I've never used before. Okay. Bekumuzi. Wait. So if it's rejecting your student email, right, only you can have access to that email. So I suggest going on to turnitin.com, resetting your password. It'll send a link to your email address, and then you can click on that link and reset your password, then you'll have access to it. So remember, it's on the internet, right? So we're going to have some niggling issues with these things. All right. So that takes care of that guy. If I use AI tools to paraphrase content in my work, will Turnitin detect it or duplicate the content? Susanna, good question. AI tools, you need to speak to your lecturers about it. Because there is a way in which you use AI tools. Turnitin will pick it up, and you will be penalized if it's seen to be not your work, right? Because you shouldn't be using AI content in your thesis, right? But like I said, different faculties have a different approach to this. You can speak, I think Prof can speak to you all about AI, the use of AI tools and detection. There may be a session for you guys to understand that when you have your orientation. But I know mostly AI tools, Turnitin does detect it. All right. What about the submission of a PhD thesis to Turnitin? Gilbert, I'm not sure I understand your question. Let me go to the Q&A. All right. My account is saying expired. I'm required to contact the librarian. Who do I contact? Oh, I'm not sure that's for me. How do I download EndNote? So you've got that now. You go to software rep. If you go to use the library outside UKZN, I believe they will need UKZN student cards or letter is enough. I can't answer that. That'll have to be for Anita and the librarians. Can I use a letter for access to university libraries? I can't answer that. I lost my whole library on EndNote after changing the laptop. Okay. So this is quite a tricky one, but it can be retrieved. So Faith lost her library on EndNote. If you contact your librarian, they do work with ICS, and we try to figure out if there's a way to retrieve it, because if you move from one laptop to another, there's a root path that can be done. So speak to your librarian. They'll try and help you with that with ICS. I think I'm still answering library questions here. Kindly repeat how to access dissertations. Not for me. If I use an AI tool, I think we covered that. How can one resolve highlighted table headings? I think we've done that. For outside students, South Africa, so we must install Global Protect to access software? So if you're outside South Africa, Global Protect, yes. So Global Protect on your personal machine will, and I'll, Prof, just remind me to send you that help file on how to install Global Protect. It's quite easy. There's screenshots. So what Global Protect is doing, it's tricking your machine into thinking that you're on campus. So you get access to all the facilities that are on campus, all the library facilities, all the software, all of those things. So that's quite important. Does Turnitin, I think I've answered that one. What's the difference between plagiarism check and similarity check? Ish, Adiola, outside of my expertise, but maybe Prof can take that on. So similarity is it's looking for the same words, but plagiarism is when you take somebody else's idea and you pass it off as your own and you don't give credit to the author. That's what plagiarism is. So if you've now copied something off the internet and sort of changed a few things, but it's not really your idea, that'll be plagiarism. So the idea is to give veracity to the where you've taken the text from, right? Because that's what it is. So, Prof, I don't know if you want to add to that, right? How do I set up Moodle? Maybe Moodle is already set up. You go to http://learn2025.ukzn.ac.za. You're on Moodle. Use your username and password. Access in no problems, right? So easy to get into Moodle. It's already set up for you. How many times can I upload one document onto Turnitin? I think we sort of covered this already. It depends, you can upload the same document multiple times. Prof explained, your third one should actually be your final sort of, where do I find the Moodle QR code? Moodle QR code? Oh, it's on the help document that I'm going to send. But if you go, yeah, just let me send it. It's on that help document. I think I've answered all of that. Let me go back to the chat. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. 1 second. There we go. Sorry. Where are we? Okay, all that's done. Prof, is there anything else that's necessary? I think I've covered quite a bit of information that students need. So maybe just, before I leave, Prof, anything else you want me to speak about?
No, fine. But I just want to ask you your views.
Yeah.
We have a guideline of 10% in
Yeah.
terms of your similarity index. But of
Yeah.
course, there are slight variations in the different colleges. But
Yeah.
what's your view on that? What's your take on that?
So I tell all academics, it depends the faculty that you're in. For engineers, that percent is very low. They could be even 3 or 4%, primarily because all of their content is fixed. But if you're working with humanities, law and management studies, humanities, that tends to change a lot. And I think what people need to understand is that 10% is not a plagiarism score, it's a similarity detection score. And if you are taking stuff off the internet that's 30% similar, that may be a bit high. You should not be using that much information, especially if it's, if you're doing a master's, I'd say, like 20, 25%, you really, depending on your topic, you're stretching on the boundaries. If it's education and that type of thing, you're stretching on the boundaries. PhD level, your document is a lot bigger. There's a lot more research that went into it. So the numbers could vary. I like to tell academics, use the score in relation to what the student has submitted. Because I think what a lot of academics do is they look at the score and they say, this whole thing is plagiarized and they're not going to mark it or they're penalizing the student without really reading the content. You need to read the content and then assimilate to say, hey, hold on, this is really good work and it's not similar, it's not plagiarized. I can see that they've done everything is correct. They've referenced it correctly. I can see that it's where it's taken from. However, there may be too many references. That could be an issue. But other than that, that 10% thing, we really need to address it university-wide.
Yeah, you see, it is a policy. You get what I mean? I mean, if you're looking at
Yeah.
all the documents that you got to fill in, see, like when
Yeah.
a student is submitting a proposal, even when the
Mm,
student is submitting the thesis for examination, it
mm,
asks quite distinctly there. The similarity index is it 10% or less? Now,
Yeah.
if it's 10% or less, it's okay. But if it's more than 10%, now you got to motivate. So it becomes a
Yeah.
bit complicated. And the thing is, now we can't have too many students with 11 and 12 and 15%.
Yeah.
Now you
Agreed.
got to motivate, it becomes a bit complicated. But on
Agreed.
the other hand, it's much easier for the student to, let's say if it's 10, I mean 11 or 12, to bring it
Bring
down
it down.
slightly, you
Correct.
see. Thanks.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I think that's the right approach to it. Yeah. So I think so. Most of these students are off campus, right, Prof? They don't. Do they come onto campus?
No, especially with the postgraduate students, master's, doctorate now, we're normally having meetings online. We phone each other through WhatsApp and all of that.
Okay. So my suggestion would be for students to call into the help desk during the day if they've got a chance. They need to call in, and a lot of the consultants can take over their machines and install the software for them. So let's say they need SPSS or in Vivo or SES or any of that software. If they need it, they can call in, let a consultant take over the machine, download the software for them with the instructions, have it set up. So SES is a big file to do online, though I must admit. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a 8, maybe 8 gig file, which is a bit lot to, it's a bit high to be doing it online. So my suggestion would be use the line to call in, speak to a consultant for any assistance that you may need. Use the IT student help email address when you're off campus. That's a lot easier. But if you're close to a campus and you can come in, we have 4 walk-in centers. We have one at Howard College, Westville campus, the PMB campus, and the Edgewood campus. I think medical school also has a walk-in center. So each of these facilities has a walk-in centers for students. You can come in, visit, see a consultant, and they can set your phones up, they can set your laptops up, your tablets up once off, and then when you leave, you're off campus, you can use all of your devices without having any issues. Okay, I think that's it from me. I don't know if there's any other questions, if I've left anything out.
Lungila, let's see if any of the students have raised their hand in
We
terms of.
have a hand. I think we can take that. I think you've covered all the questions on our chat and Q&A, Vasu. Thank you for that. Austin Mwange has a question.
I think he wants to give me a high five. Austin, what's your question?
Yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to be sure. I'm based in Zambia, Lusaka. I'm a lecturer at the University of Zambia. So I'm doing a PhD in economics. I wanted to find out how I can make an appointment that is very certain that when I come, like you have indicated, all the softwares are installed on my gadgets. Like I have a person I can be sure of that I've made an appointment. I fly to um, uh, uh, Durban and so forth, UKZN, then I'm sure I'll just come straight and be helped.
Okay, thanks, Austin. Let's just be clear, right? So you're a lecturer in Zambia, but you are studying here as a student at UKZN.
Yes.
So that means you will get all of the privileges that students get at the institution. You won't get
Yes.
any privileges that the staff get. So you would still have access to all the student files, all of the things that is necessary. So like a Turnitin account will be available to you via your student email address, all of those things. So I think
Okay,
that's
what
a
I'm saying, you
yeah.
are encouraging students like myself to sometimes come to campus because it may be difficult to install certain softwares online. So I was saying, if I plan my time,
Yes.
that I need to come that side as a student,
Yes.
and I have all the softwares installed that are relevant for my school.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure so that I know that this is the contact person. I can communicate, I inform them I'm coming next week on such a date,
Yeah.
and then I don't find myself struggling to be helped.
Yeah. I think, Austin, your first port of call would be to call the help desk and see what can be done online. Because I think it's a bit extreme to be coming down to have software installed. So let's do the first port of call, do the call online, see what works, what doesn't work, and thereafter, if you still feel there is a need that you want to come in and speak to a consultant and sit down and get things done, then that can be arranged with the consultants themselves. But I think initially, let's try to do the online thing first.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Anyone else? Anything else? We're good to go?
We don't have any more hands. No more questions either from what I can see from my side.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Vasi.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the conclusion of this session here. I'd just like to take this opportunity of thanking Vasu for this very insightful presentation, and it has really empowered us in terms of the technology. In fact, he has demystified a lot of these things, and we can only sort of get better as we practice them. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you're are doctoral students, which also implies that you could be holding senior positions outside. And quite often you'll be preparing documents of your own. So you will be making use of policy documents of your own. So you'll certainly be making use of Turnitin, Grammarly, and so on. There were one or two points made about AI, and what we can do is in the near future we can host a workshop on AI just to address some of the issues that you have raised. Once again, Vasu, thank you very much for being very, very cooperative. And I must say, our IT section is very, very helpful and cooperative. Quite often, I do phone from home if I have a technical challenge, and generally I'm helped through these problems. So I'm sure they would be prepared to assist you in the presently or in the future. Right. Thank you, Vasu. And then we move on to the third section, and that is on research ethics and the RIG system. And ladies and gentlemen, the facilitator here is Mrs. Mariette Snyman, who is an ethics administrator with the Humanities and Social Sciences Research Ethics Committee. Prior to that, she worked in the Biomedical Research Ethics Committee and also on the Animal Research Ethics Committee. And you can see she's got considerable expertise in these areas, and she's also played a pivotal role in this process uh, over the years at the university. In fact, she's been with the University Research Office for the past 26 years. Right, over to you, Mariette.
Thank you, Prof. Good morning. Yeah, it's on the borderline of morning and afternoon, everybody. I don't have a presentation, but I'm going straight to my okay. I hope everybody can see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I'm going to get to the RIG system, I'm just going to show you a couple information that you will be required to go through, and that will assist you in the preparation of your research proposal and the submission of your ethical clearance application. In order to go through to the Humanity and Social Science Research Ethics Committee, in short, SHREC, go to the main university homepage. We will go down to research. By research ethics, we will go to the SREC homepage. Here you will see there's quite a couple of links, the guidelines that we follow. Please note that we are registered with the Department of Health's National Health Research Ethics Council, and we have to abide by their rulings. There's different sections of what you will need. One of them is the Research Information Gateway, RIC in short. Here you can download a English application form of the application itself. There's also a isiZulu application available. We do accept 2 languages, which is the English and isiZulu, as we have got isiZulu committee members on board. Then going further down, next one that's of important is the training resources. Please note that if you are submitting a research ethics application, you are required to submit a research ethics training certificate for you and your supervisors. And in order to do that, you will go to the e-learning, which is also called the TREE. Please note that TREE is not a university site, and you will have to register in order to use this site. The only modules required for SREC is Module 1 and Module 3. Those are the only 2 modules required. When you are submitting your research ethics application, you will be required to submit your certificates as well. The other documents are of importance is the other documents for SREC. Here you can find a guideline regarding the gatekeeper permission letters that will be that might be required. If you feel that okay, we'll go into that later. There's the informed consent document for your participants, and the review process of the committee. In order to go to RIC, you will go back to your research office homepage. Slightly down towards the bottom, you'll find the big button. Here, your username will only be that of your student number, not the full @ and the rest of it. It will only be your student number and your password for your student account. Once inside, I want to show you the, let me just quickly change my role. Once you've logged in, there's a help function button at the top right-hand corner. You go to online help. Here you will find some guidelines that will assist you. One is to log into RIC, the introduction to RIC, and applying for ethical clearance. Then again, you have got your SREC application in Word format. We have also got your research registration form that is for all external supervisors, as you can only use RIC if you are registered. Co-declaration, all co-declaration investigators needs to sign their forms. So this is the help page. In order to submit a new application, at the top right-hand corner, you've got to add new content. You will go down to ethics. ethics applications. As indicated earlier, we've got 3 ethics committees. One is the animal research, one is biomedical, and then it's us strict. If you go to the strict application, it will open up a new application, which you will then complete. Now, I've already started a application, so I'm not going to do that one. Your ethics application on RIC, you will have to make sure that all questions are answered on each of the tabs. Your first tab is your very basic information, degree purposes. It will be any participants in, not participants, any investigators involved in your project, and your supervisor or co-supervisor. That is all on your first tab. The second tab is a little bit more information. It would be your title, where your sites are going to be. Please remember to provide us, if it's, for instance, if it's a hospital, provide us a hospital name, the area, municipality, and province. If it's outside country, then that also needs to be indicated. All the rest needs to be answered. Then you've got your intended plan of work. That is that gives us an idea as to what your plan of work is going to be when you intend to submit an ethics application, when you're intending to do data collection, analysis, etc. So that all needs to be outlined. The middle part, which is the most important part, is the research methodology tab. Please ensure that each of these questions has been answered. The critical part is this section here, which is the data collection process. It has got 7 items that needs to be addressed. Please make sure that each of this item has been addressed and there's no information missing. If there are any information missing, we will either have to send the application back, or we will have to ask for the information in your queries and response. Again, indicate what method of data collection is going to be used. If any of these are yes, please make sure that the research instrument has been attached to this application. Again, ensure that all of these applications has been, questions has been addressed. The box that I want to talk about is the translated informed consent document and the gatekeeper letter. With regards to the translated documents and the gatekeeper letter, translated documents, we mainly ask for documents to be translated if this is in a community setup. Then you have to translate the documents. But if you feel that the community is able to conduct the research in English, then you need to motivate as to why documents will not be translated. The gatekeeper letters, you need to indicate what measures has been taken in order to obtain a gatekeeper letter. As I've shown you previously, there is a guideline regarding the submission of a gatekeeper letter. Then also, if you feel that a gatekeeper letter is not required, or a gatekeeper letter must be waived, that also needs to be indicated waived can be especially if it's in a foreign country or whichever the case might be, but then you can request for the gatekeeper letter to be waived. But if you feel that no gatekeeper letter is required, you need to justify as to why it is not required. And then we've got the data management. You need to indicate the data security, supervisor access, and data disposal. The other one that needs to be indicated is how long the data is going to be stored for before it's going to be disposed of. And then again, the rest of the questions. If you click on the more, and the next tab is attachments. We've set the application up in such a way that attachments all goes onto one tab so that we don't have to go back and forth onto the other tabs to go back to other documents. We've got the informed consent document. Maybe I just need to download this. Okay. As you can see, this is a template for the informed consent document. This document needs to be edited accordingly. As you can see, information are being requested for in between brackets. So please ensure that everything has been addressed. Also ensure that your contact details are on here, as well as that of your supervisor. Further down below, please make sure that you are aware of this question about compensation. If it's not relevant, please delete it. And further down, additional consent. Please note that if video recording and photographs are not relevant to your study, those two needs to be deleted as well. So that is the informed consent document. Then, with everything, you've got your research instruments that need to be uploaded and your gatekeeper letter. Your supervisor agreement needs to be uploaded, as well as that of your research ethics training certificates, module 1 and module 2. All of that needs to be uploaded. If you wish to upload your proposal that was submitted for approval to at school level, then that can be uploaded as well. That will provide us with more information. And then also you've got an electronic copy to your application that you have submitted. Declaration and school review. This section, all you need to do is you need to tick the declaration box, take note of the conflicts of interest, and provide us with an expected completion date. And that is it. If you want to submit, you will click on Save and Close. Because I'm staff, I will go directly to the postgrad administrator, but you as student will go to your supervisor for approval. Your supervisor will then send it to the postgrad administrator, who will then process it within the school, within the school to get approved, and then we'll send it through to the ethics office for processing. Please note that there is some time for your application to go before it comes through to the ethics office, but you can at any time just log on to RIC, have a look next to the flag at the top here. Next to the flag will tell you where your application is currently sitting. at the moment, this is in draft, but with each step it takes, it will that step will change. Also, your admin info and status log, it will provide you with an outline of each step that it has taken, the period of time it has taken. So, and it will also provide you with information. If the supervisor wants you to change something or add something, that can be put onto the status log, and you just need to log in and go onto your status log in order to see what the message is. So once the ethics office has received the application will then either go to a full committee, or it will go to it will be indicated as an expedited application. Full committee application goes to a meeting that's taking place at the last Wednesday of every month. And that application does take a little bit longer, but expedited application goes a little bit quicker. With as I've said, the application will either have go to a full committee or be dealt with as an expedited. If there are any queries to your application, that will be raised on tab 8, which is your queries and responses tab. Please note that once your application has come through to the ethics office, the application is being locked. You cannot edit the application at all. So you will then have to, the only tab that you can work on is tab 8. That is the only tab available to you. So all the queries will be raised in the first box. The old queries at the top with if there's additional queries or clarifications required, that will be towards the bottom. And then you will use the file icon to upload all the documents, the queries response sheet that needs to be downloaded on this hyperlink here. And then also any revised or supporting documents also needs to be uploaded onto this tab. Anything uploaded cannot be deleted, it stays. So then you will send it back to the research office directly, and we will process the application. Then once approval is given, your approval letter will be uploaded onto attachments, and that will be right down at the bottom. Either provisional approval will be given in order for you to receive, in order for you to obtain a gatekeeper letter, or you will be getting an approval letter. In some cases, unfortunately, there is non-approvals where the application has not been approved. When it has not been approved, you will need to resubmit the application. So we have submitted the application was approved, and you are on your way to do your research. You need to remember that ethical clearance is only valid for 1 year. 1 year into where you will need to do your data collection. If you are still busy collecting data, then your approval is about to expire, you will get a reminder for that, by the way. If you are still busy with data collection and you need to submit a renewal, go to your approved application from the dashboard. You will then go down to number 11, which is amendments. On amendments, you will get plus buttons under renewal application, interim, and closeout reports. You want to do a renewal application, you will click on the plus button that's at the bottom, and so forth. If you are done with data collection and you know for a fact you are not going to do any more data collection and you are busy writing up, you need to submit a closeout report for us in order to close your application. Otherwise, it's going to remain open. So that is that part. But if it comes that you've submitted or you are busy doing your research and even afterwards you've written up and it's gone through to the examiners and you need to do an amendment, doesn't matter what the amendment is about, you need to do an amendment. You go again to your approved application, you will go through to amendments, and under amendments, there will be a plus button that you will have to go to, click on in order to create the form. Please ensure that each of those questions is answered accordingly. Otherwise, the application is going to be sent back to you with queries. Your current approval application letter also needs to be uploaded to each of your applications that you are making. If you're doing a renewal, you need to upload your letter. If you're doing an amendment, you need to upload the latest letter, and so on. So that's why only after everything is done, you do a closeout report in which we will then close the application. Okay, so I have gone through everything. Other thing, I know it's more for break, but if you as the investigator, if something does happen while you are doing data collection, please note that all incidents needs to be reported, which you then need to go to incidents, and there will be a plus button, which you will then need to report on the incident that took place. That's generally any negative data collection. You will need to explain as to what happened, why it happened, and all of that. So, yeah, I think that is it. I've done the help, I've done the Research Office website, and I've done RIG. Is there any questions?
Mariette, I wonder if I can come in here.
Yeah.
Right. You see, just from the academic side, basically what we tell the students is, look at all the headings that are on the application form online and look at the spacing for there in terms of the number of words you require. And then what you do is you prepare a separate Word document of that application, and then you send it to your supervisor or promoter. And then they will read through it, make corrections, and so on, then submit it back to you. And then you can just go and cut and paste in terms of the online application. Because if you're looking at the form itself, it doesn't allow for any changes to be made by the supervisor or promoter. And in fact, even if you want to change one word there, it has to go back to the
student.
Now, I just want to ask you, aren't you thinking of changing that? Because sometimes it's a bit irritating. Just one word here or a sentence there, or to put in a comma or something, we have to send it back to the student.
Prof, that's why I've in the beginning with the help buttons, I've indicated there is a Word document that can be downloaded that is exactly the same as the online application that can be used between the student and the supervisor. Once the supervisor is happy with it, then the student can go copy and paste all the information onto the online form. That is why we've uploaded the Word document onto the help section and also onto the website.
Yeah, thank you.
For the student and the supervisor to work with offline.